So today I'm going to be going over why websites don't rank. We're going to be basically breaking down a technical SEO audit on a site, and I'm going to highlight things that could potentially be holding your website back and things that you should be looking out for, especially if you have started to scale out a website, or maybe you've already started scaling out your website and your website just isn't ranking where you feel like it should be. It might be something to do with the technical SEO side of it. Very quickly, if you guys haven't already purchased tickets to the Masterminders, it's happening on the 27th of June, hosting a in-person SEO and also business conference in Manchester. And you've got the likes of Craig Campbell speaking about website flipping. You've got Lara Acosta talking about lead generation for agencies. So if you've got an agency and you're trying to scale out more inquiries, she's probably the go-to person. You've got James Dooley talking about lead generation, Carrie Rose talking about digital PR, and many, many more. So let's get into it. Now, what I'm going to basically be doing is I'm going to find a website that isn't ranking so well, and we're going to be running it through a tool called Screaming Frog. You will need this tool. I believe you can run 500 pages through it for free. If you have a bigger website, you might need to pay for the actual package, which I think it's like $100 or $70 for the year. Highly recommend getting it. It's quite a useful tool. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to search for HVAC company in Orlando, just a random keyword, and we're going to pick, we'll pick these guys. So one thing that we're going to very quickly do is make certain that it's not a huge website. These guys seem like they are massive. The reason why I'm picking quite a small website is because it's going to take a lot less time to actually run the audit using Screaming Frog. So bear with me for just a second. So this is the website that we're going to be looking at. They are called Ferran.com and they are bottom of page 2. So they're not in a terrible position by any means, but they're also not going to be generating any inquiries for that keyword, which was HVAC company in Orlando, right? So we're just going to run a technical audit and see what their issues are. So this has finished the actual audit. Basically what this tool does, if you've never used it before, is it will actually crawl your entirety of your website and it'll basically highlight any issues that you've got. Now, if you've never used it before, it can be a little bit daunting, but we're going to be looking at the data that actually does push the needle. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select HTML, and I might actually even set up a Google Sheet for this, just so we can actually highlight all the issues. So all I've done is I've just created a blank sheet, and what we're going to do is on the status codes, we first of all want to make certain that there are no 404s or double 301s. It looks like we do actually have some. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight all of these and I'm just going to export this. So I don't know if you guys saw that, right? But if I don't select anything, there's nothing in this URL selected area. But if I actually select all of these, so as we can see here, we have got one 404 error. And as you can see here, this is the actual anchor text. Now, the more pages that I obviously select, the more issues that we actually have here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the 404 pages and the 301 pages. Basically, these are pages that have an error. And you'll obviously be able to tell that as if you've got status code here and then you've got the status. So these are all moved permanently. 200 error basically means that it's fine, it's an okay page. So I'm just going to click on export. We're going to do Ferran services errors. So we're just going to click on save, and we will do file import, and we will select upload, and we'll just click and drag the actual issues here. So we've got the double 404 or the double 301s. We'll also click on append. So as we can see here, right, I will just color code this a little bit so it's a little bit easier to actually see. I'll also reduce the size of my face. So if I just select this as being like gray and this being as green, for example, and this will select as being orange. So this is the page that the actual error lies on. So if we actually go to that page, and if we copy the anchor text, as you can see, this is a link going through to a page that 301s, as you can see here. What I will do as well is I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's a 404 error. So this is the page that's coming from, and this is the anchor text. And if we take a look here, right, if we click on this, this goes to a 404 page. So if we've got too many 404 pages, or if we have double 301s, it can mess with our crawl budget, because Google needs to go to a page, then go to another page. Like one tool that I recommend for you guys to use is the redirect path. If you guys don't have this, is what it looks like. Let me just redirect path, Google Chrome extension. This is what it looks like if you want to get the actual tool, but this basically tells you like which pages it goes through to first. So as we can see, we clicked the link. So this page is fine, but we actually clicked the link reducing facing, and it went through to one page, which then redirected to the page that we are currently on. So it looks like this website potentially might have changed URL structures, and they've not fully cleaned up their previous internal linking. So that's one thing that we would be looking at and fixing on our website, and it's all to do with just literally just going in and fixing all of these URLs and making certain that there's no double 301s, or we're not that internally linking to a 404 page. So we're going to rename this tab to 301s and 404s. Now this website's not got that many. Let me just see. It's actually got 105, so this would be a clear indicator as to some pages as to why they're not ranking. Now let's go back to Screaming Frog and see what else that we can actually pinpoint. So any pages that have got a low word count, those would be pages that I would be looking at as well, to just basically improve the actual word count and make certain that we've actually got SEO optimized content. Now, first things first, we want to only make certain that we're looking at pages that obviously have got a 200 status code. As you can see here, we've got like a false positive in the sense that this page is shown as being 0 word count, but if we actually go to it, this is our 404 page, as you guys remember that we looked at a couple seconds ago. So what we would actually want to do is head over to the search section here and click on search terms. And what we want to do is we want to make certain that the status code contains 200, and we're going to click on OK. Now we're actually seeing pages that have got low word count. So for example, window film photography, this only has 400 words, or sorry, 630 words. So as you can see here, actually this is, sorry, my bad, this is a gallery page, which in that case it would make sense for it to actually have low word count. But if we were to keep going through our pages, obviously we've sorted by word count lowest to highest. So ductless installation is another page, for example, right? This page here, it's got an okay amount of words. Is it enough to rank? Probably not. So in this case, I would probably look to actually further improve this page. So what I would do is search the keyword that we're obviously trying to rank for, which is ductless installation, and look at the people also search. So obviously make certain that we've actually got these questions on the page, which it doesn't look like we do. What is ductless installation? How much does it cost to have ductless installation? So I'll just do cost, for example. And they don't actually have it in a subheading. Can I install ductless AC myself? That would be another question. So including the people also ask questions, looking at who's ranking positions 1, 2, and 3, seeing what kind of content that they actually have, what type of subheadings they actually have, and making certain that we actually include those on our page. So that would be another thing that I would do. Again, you can just export a list of these pages and actually create export the list of pages and obviously import it into our sheet as to which pages should be getting worked on. Now, again, with this exact same status code applied, what we want to take a look at is the pages with the least amount of internal links going through to them, right? So if we take a look here, as we can see, we have got a page which is talking about Winter Park, Florida, and I'm guessing, so these guys want to rank for air conditioning installations in Winter Park, Florida, right? Now, I don't even need to Google this page, but I'm going to assume, or I'm not going to assume, I'm going to guess that this page isn't ranking. So air conditioning install Winter Park, Florida. Let's take a look and see where they actually rank. So they're not on page 1. We'll do... They are on page number 3, and it's not the correct page that's ranking either. It's the home page that's ranking. So in this case, it looks like Google doesn't know which page to rank for and which page not to rank, right? Now, what I would be looking to do here is improve the amount of unique inlinks that this page actually has, because right now it only has the one. Obviously, it'll have navbar links going through to it, but it's not got enough internal links. So what I would be looking at doing is building out more blog content, or if this website actually does have a lot of blog content, making certain that we are actually internally linking through to the Winter Park, Florida page, which would mean that this page here would eventually derank. So our homepage would go down, but our Winter Park, Florida page would be the page that would end up ranking correctly, like what these other pages have started to do. So if we look at our competitors, right, it's never the home page that actually ranks for it, it's the actual Winter Park, Florida page. And the reason why our website isn't ranking the correct page is because our actual Winter Park, Florida page doesn't have enough internal links going through to it. So that would be one thing that I would be looking at fixing. Look, it seems like they have got a lot of these pages, like Windmere is another location that isn't ranking for that keyword. And as we can see here, we only have got one unique inlink. So again, I would probably make certain that I would obviously take a look and see how many pages there are. It looks like there's 114 pages overall. The more unique inlinks that you have going through to a page, you're basically telling Google, like, hey, this page is important to me. Please rank this page higher. So again, what I'm going to do here is anything that's got like less than 10 internal links, I'm just going to create a list of pages on my Google Sheet to build more internal links to. So unique internal links page URL. Also, another thing as well worth mentioning, if you're ever uncertain about like which anchors to use to point to this page, go into your Google Search Console and look to see what kind of keywords you're actually showing up for and use those as actual internal link anchors. You could also do this using Ahrefs, but I'm going to assume that this page doesn't show up for anything. Yeah, it's not showing up for anything at all. Let's see if we can actually find a page that is ranking for some secondary keywords. So this page here, this is their dynamic window tinting page, and this also had one unique internal link going through to it. But look at all of these secondary keywords. So they've got dynamic window tint, dynamic window tinting, window tint port, orange, adaptive window tint. So anything that's obviously anything that is obviously relevant to the page, I would actually include as an internal link anchor from a blog article or from a different service page. And that helps theme this page, and it basically helps Google understand what this page is actually about. So now that we have covered 301s, 404 pages, and also the internal linking for the actual website, we're going to then take a look at the images on this website, because that's also another thing that can potentially hold the website back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to images, and we're going to take a look and see if there are any images that are missing any attributes. So if we take a look here, right, if you actually go to, I don't know if you guys saw what I just done there, but if you guys click through to images here, you will then be displayed with images that have got over 100 kilobytes in size, which basically means that images that haven't been lowered in actual size or optimized in size for SEO. So for example, if you're uploading like massive images from your DSLR, for example, that can slow your website down and potentially increase bounce rate just a little bit. So just be wary of that if you do have any huge images. I know that some e-commerce stores upload images direct from their DSLR, and their DSLRs taking images in 4K and stuff like that. So just bear this in mind. Just have a run through any images that are potentially too big. So for example, like 402 kilobytes in size, that's like a huge image. Or yeah, this is like too big. So I would look to actually optimize that. You can use tools like Tiny PNG, for example. Tiny PNG, you can process all of your images. Another thing that's quite important when it comes to your actual images as well is making certain that you're actually naming your images. Like these guys, they've just got, looks like they're just uploading it direct from like their phone or whatever. But if we actually take a look here, this is like 2021-01826_115242.jpg. What you want to make certain that you're doing is, if this is like, for example, a window tint that they've actually done, I'm not certain what this is, right? But let's say it's a window tint. You want to make certain that you're actually naming it correctly. So you're naming it like window tint in Florida or in Kissimmee, Orlando, .jpg or .png. Like, let me show you a good example of images. So this is a good example, and as you can see here, featured. So I'm guessing this is like the featured image, but they've actually got the name of what they're trying to rank the image for. So how to start heating and ventilation business.jpg. So this is what you should be doing with your actual naming structure when it comes to your images. Never just upload it as being 552.67892.png, because it's just you're making it really difficult for Google to understand, first of all, what the image is for, and second of all, actually ranking it. So again, if you take a look at like any high ranking website, they should be doing that. So as you can see here, this is, the image name is called How to Start HVAC Business.jpg as well. So always just make certain that you're naming your actual images, especially if you care about ranking your images. That's like really important. Then you've got the missing alt text. So basically when Google is crawling that web page, does it understand what that image is actually about? So they have got a lot of images that just don't actually have a alt tag. So 29% of their images don't have an alt tag at all. So basically 30%. So that's some things that you should also worry about when it comes to your page as well. So then we're going to take a look at external. So one thing that you can also do as well when it comes to this is obviously just export as you go. So obviously the sheet that we created, the next tab here would obviously be like the images tab. So we'll just call this images, and we would export this. So anything that is missing the alt tag, we would obviously just export all of these. Alt tag missing. So basically go back through and add an alt tag to those, and any images that are more than 100 kilobyte as well. So again, that's 47% of their images. So 47% of their images basically need to be optimized. So optimize images. We'll just paste those in there. And then if I'm being honest with you guys, I would probably just re-upload all of their images, especially if you're going to be optimizing them and stuff like that with the correct naming structure, because the naming structure on these images is completely diabolical. Like, there's very few images that have been named properly. Like, for example, air duct 02 after. So I'm going to assume that that's probably an air duct. Yeah. Again, it's not the best image there, but you should be naming your actual files when you're uploading them. So then we've got the external section. So again, we will create a external tab here. Now, basically what this external tab on Screaming Frog shows us is websites that our website is linking out to, but it is showing a bad status code. So obviously we've done this internally, so when we're linking to certain pages and stuff like that, it tells us like, hey, you've got a double 401 or a double 301 and a 404. But sometimes websites link out to reliable sources, and those reliable sources sometimes change their website URL structure and stuff like that. So for example, to be fair, they don't actually have many, but rgf.com they're actually linking to. We're just going to open up this website and we'll see what it is actually about. So this looks like a environmental group Inc. So this, I don't know, maybe it's a supplier that they use, something along those lines, but they are actually double 301 and when they are actually linking out to them. Same goes with their Twitter URL, so they might have changed their Twitter URL. Same goes with like Sign Now, and they also link out to their Google review URL, which again, double 302s. So in that case, I would be fixing some of these URLs. There are also, if you sort by lowest to highest, you can actually see that they're trying to link to their CID URL, which in some cases you might want to keep that because it actually helps with like your Google Map Pack rankings and stuff. But in some cases, just filter through these URLs and make certain that it should be linking through to the URLs that you are obviously linking through to. And that, I believe... Also, another thing that you can also do as well is head over to the H1 section and look to see if you've got any pages that are missing a H1 as well. So again, you can sort by lowest to highest, and you can see these pages here that are all missing a H1. Same goes with like H2. So this is more like a content audit now. So as you can see here, you're very easily picking out the worst performing pages, and you're going to actually perform some content audit on it. Same goes with like the content section as well. You can sort by lowest to highest. So we've actually got 3 pages here that actually have low amount or 0 scores when it comes to their word count. Then you've got like 400 to, do you know what, anything less than 1,000 I would actually be looking to improve, because those are typically pages that probably just need a little bit of further love. Now, I'm not saying word count is the beyond and end all, but it's a good place to start, especially if you've just not done any further SEO optimizations and stuff. So that has been the video on a technical SEO audit. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And as always, if you guys do want a strategy call with myself, maybe you're struggling to rank, or maybe you just need an expert to take a look at your website and give you some suggestions, check out casualdash.com, fill in the contact form. And like what I mentioned at the start of this video, if you guys haven't, head over to themasterminders.com and grab your tickets for the in-person SEO conference that's happening on the 27th of June. Thanks for watching.